Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2015 segment update. We are on day 12, October 12th, and doing the 12th movie of my 31, well, might be more than 31 come the end, you never know. It usually is, but for those of you who don't know what the 31 Days of Horror is, it's where I try and watch 31 horror movies I've never seen before, sometime during the 31 days of October. It doesn't have to be one each day, it could be multiples during a day, because there are going to be days where I do not watch one. Today, we are looking at Horror Rock. Now, when I looked at this and read the thing, I essentially figured they were going to be taking a page out of Full Moon's, or, well, Charles Band's book, and that would be putting together sort of like a clip movie of sorts, using scenes from their old films and such, with some kind of wraparound, almost like an anthology film, but not really, because each little, story in this type of anthology film isn't really a self-contained short film. And it's generally just it's what you call a clip movie. It's just clips from certain things, and then you have a wraparound story that's usually brand new to tie all these things together, sometimes loosely, sometimes not at all. And that's what I figured I was going to get with Horror Rock. The difference here is that they would have music over top of these clips from certain bands. Now, on the front cover here, it has 12 things listed, and I was like, okay, I know a couple of these names, I don't know all of them, but whoever put out, this is an SRS Cinema, Sub Rosa Cinema release, and it says the cover art here is done, but whoever put this together did not pay attention to what was going on, because all these things here, they aren't band names. I think it's Hot Rod to Hell here. Hot Rod to Hell is the name of the song from Elvis Hitler. Rundown Love Battery is the name of the song from the Pandora. So really, there's 12 listed here, and it says and more. Yes, there is and more, because there would technically be 14 if they continued this on, because there's only 7 bands and 7 songs. So half of these are bands, half of these are the names of the songs that go with it. And I mean, they even continued it on the back here, when they're doing, has music from such cult bands like, and then it lists, and it has, like Pandora's Rundown Love Battery, Elvis Hitler and Hot Rod to Hell. Like, somebody's clearly not paying attention. They didn't even bother watching the movie. It's yeah, if you can call it a movie. It's from 1989, and it's like 40 minutes long. It's essentially like directed and written, put together by Paul McCullough, who, if you know him, you should know him. He was involved, let's see, I'm trying to think, what did he do? Did he write something? I'm trying to think. He did the music, that's right, he did the music from the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead. He also did music on Santa Claus, Heartstopper, The Majorettes, and so yeah, he's he's not a nobody. He is somebody, and he apparently he produced it as well. But it also, like, even though if you go to IMDb, it doesn't list it in the credits here. It says it's also produced by John Russo, and honestly, I think it's what's happened here is somebody is essentially. I'm guessing Paul, who worked with John Russo, obviously, if you look at the films that I mentioned, pulled old movies and such that John had been involved in, and since, you know, I'm guessing getting permission from John, yes, okay, here you go, you can use these, put them together and splice them together to essentially create little music videos for this, for all, you know, all these bands and the songs. And it's got a wraparound of kind of like, how would you describe it? It's like, it's like if somebody took like an Amiga computer and did sort of like text screens and stuff, and made an inserts and tried to develop this story about Uncle Tanoose, who I guess is a killer who just escaped from prison and is on the run, and has a lot about this woman who's essentially getting ready for a date, and then I won't give it away, but she goes on this date with this guy and stuff happens near the end. But yeah, Uncle Tanoose seems to be sort of like forgotten and not even used. In fact, that what seemed like was the wraparound at first with this woman, and to be the only credits in this film, the Frank Leonard, which is the guy who's looking to pick this girl up, and Marcia McTiger, who is the woman. Those are the only credits you're going to find on IMDb for Horror Rock. And like I said, they seem to be the wraparound, but that story ends up actually being completed and in one of the music videos that are here, that are set up. And even still, there's only one real music video, which actually ends up turning out to be the best video in the entire thing going on here. And I believe that was for the Pandora's Rundown Love Battery, and it's essentially their music video. It's the Pandora's playing in a garage, essentially playing the song. So it's one of those really cheap type of music videos, but it is their music video for that song. And the other ones are like visuals put to the music, which include I'm trying to think. Night of the Living Dead was the one that you're going to know right off the bat, it's used often. The Majorettes might be the next one, and Heartstopper. Again, like I said, John Russo type stuff. Those are the three that I recognize. Then there's video footage of a fair that's been manipulated digitally, where they're going on roller coasters and like a teacup ride and you know, whatever. They're doing fair rides, and those are used in these videos. And then there's, I'm trying to think, there was a really weird, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's student film, where it's all black and white, and it involves this guy meeting a dwarf and going home and having his steak cooked with lighter fluid and sleeping with a goldfish, and it's just very, you know, weird. And that was in Judas Kiss, I think, from the Del Lords. Yeah, it was just so weird. It came out of nowhere. And then there's this thing going on, and I think this is for Booby Trap by the Dickies, where they had sort of like this biker bar of sorts, and a stripper just sort of dancing in front of them, going on, mixed with some redhead in a forest who's taking off her clothes or something. I don't know. Somehow it's supposed to relate to Booby Trap, I guess, because, you know, it's women and they're you know, taking off their clothes. But yeah, I don't know where those two scenes were. Those two completely separate, not related, taken from somewhere. Have to be. I don't know where they're from. Didn't recognize them whatsoever, which is too bad, because they both looked interesting, very different. But yeah, it's essentially scenes from Night of the Living Dead, Heartstopper, and the Majorettes mixed with carnival footage, put to songs, 7 different songs with a very, very loose wraparound story about this Tanu's character. And yeah, it's it's like only 40 minutes long. Now, I will say the music I really enjoyed it. If you like punk or hard rock or glam rock or hair metal or just old school heavy metal, that kind of stuff, then this is for you. It's 80s rock, right? So you get Hurricane and their song Over the Edge. You get Wrath and their song Children of the Wicked. The Pandoras, Rundown, Love Battery, like I said. The Dickies, Booby Trap. Elvis Hitler, Hot Rod to Hell, which is probably my least favorite of the bunch, I think. The Del Lords and Judas Kiss. And then NME, N period, M period, E period, for their song Heartstopper. And that's essentially it. I kind of expected more from the wraparound. I expected more in general from this. And you know what? If you can find it for $3 somewhere, pick it up. I mean, the music alone is worth checking out. The visuals are meh, but yeah, I mean, some places you're looking. This is like $30. I mean, when it was released, this was $30. If you spent $30 on that, you'd probably be really peed off. But yeah, that's essentially it. It's a bunch of songs with horror visuals, and not much else. I wish I could figure out what those extra scenes, like I said, the biker bar and the redhead and this weird student film going on. I really wish I could figure out what those were from. If anybody knows, I don't care, put them down below. I don't consider that a spoiler. Put it down below, let me know, because I really want to know. I could only figure out the 3 movies used, and honestly there's like almost nothing written about this this movie online. Everybody uses like the write up here for their listings online for whatever it is, and totally gives you the wrong impression about this movie. It doesn't matter if you go look on Amazon or video on demand sites or anything. Like, I looked up like at least a dozen websites and they all said the exact same thing. I looked up sites that were selling it. I looked up sites that we're trying to, give information about it. Even IMDb, it's like all of these sites had the exact same information, which was pretty much no information whatsoever. And yeah, it's and there's not. I mean, the credits don't really give you much either here. So yeah, it's one of those films where it's like, I like the idea. Don't get me wrong. I kind of like the full moon clip things. They're great and it's like the trailer reels that people have put out, released on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff like that. I love those things. Throwing them on when you have a party or something like that, they are great to put on the background. And Horror Rock could have been one of those. Unfortunately, it's only 40 minutes long, so it'd be over like that. And I'm sure if you just had it on in the background, nobody would know what was going on. It's not like the trailer reels where you can watch the trailer with no sound and still be like, ha ha ha, that's funny, look at that, that's hilarious. Or even the clip things where it's just, you have this clip stuff and you get the visuals and stuff. But if people are looking and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, somebody's killing somebody, and then next, cut to a roller coaster. I mean, I guess it would be interesting background video, but yeah, I honestly, that's the only thing I that's all I can see using this for. The music, of course, if you don't have any of these bands or something like on CD or MP3 or whatever downloads or record tape, considering when this was made, then yeah, sure, throwing it on in the background, listening to the music is fine, but every once in a while you're gonna have to listen to this really deep computer manipulated voice going, oh, don't answer the phone, oh, it's gonna be Mr. Tanu, he's gonna come and kill you, he wants to know if you're home, stuff like that. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I was listening to the music and it was good, and then blah, blah, blah came on and I was like, what? So yeah, Yeah, honestly, the only thing I can recommend this for is if you find it for like $3 somewhere, throwing it on the background during a party. But like I said, 40 minutes, be prepared to change it out relatively quickly. So, there you go. 31 Days of Horror, my review of Horror Rock. Yeah. More 31 Days of Horror to come. Hopefully it's better than this. It's almost guaranteed to be better than this, right? Right? Yeah. Till next video, guys. Take care. Have a good one.